cutting-edge podcast that discusses financial topics ranging from personal finance, economics, politics, and personal growth. Simply Financial will cover intriguing and thought-provoking questions so that the listener can simply increase their financial IQ.
Welcome to episode number 9 of the Simply Financial podcast. I am your host, Christopher Calandra. I appreciate you joining me for this episode.
On today's episode, I want to talk about how consumers and investors can choose wisely a financial advisor. So I want to review basic interview questions and things to think about when searching for a financial advisor that will be a good match for you and your family. I have with me today a special guest to help me with this conversation. I have Ann Babiarz with me. She is an author, speaker, and founder of Ann Babiarz and Associates. She's a coach. She's a mentor with Brian Tracy, International Nightingale Conant. She has 5 designations after her name, which I find very impressive. I've known Ann only for a short time, but I've quickly learned that she is dedicated to empowering individuals to help them reach their fullest potential. And I'm so glad that she and I are interacting on a whole range of issues, and I think she'll contribute a lot to today's conversation. So with that, Ann, thank you for joining me today.
Oh, thank you for asking me to be on your show. I'm really excited to working with you to help people really understand how to choose someone whom they are going to delegate the delicate duty of helping them with their finances.
That's right.
So
That's right. And to set the stage, I want to get to your questions, but to set the stage, it seems to me, with my 25 years of experience in the industry, is that it's very difficult for consumers because there is a very fluid nature to the different terms that are used. You have stockbroker, financial advisor, insurance agent, registered representative, securities advisor, wealth manager. And in some cases, those terms have very specific technical terms related to the regulations and licenses. But in the marketplace, they're so fluid that they can mean lots of different things to different people. And for many consumers, they kind of lump them in together. So could you talk a little bit about that, if you share my sentiment that it's tough for consumers to figure out who's who?
Absolutely, because, many years ago, I'm talking 20-some-odd years ago, anybody could hang out their shingle and say, I'm a financial advisor, when their qualifications were not necessarily those of a financial advisor. And I think that the landscape now is still somewhat skewed because you have insurance agents calling themselves advisors. You have brokers that are true stockbrokers saying, well, no, I'm an advisor as well. When you look at the true definition of an advisor, to me at least, what I look for are people that are CFPs, CFAs, that look at entire plans rather than just one subset of a plan.
Okay. So that's why this conversation, I think, is so valuable, because of this confusion. If consumers who are looking for financial advice and looking to partner with an advisor and or a firm, that we're going to give them some very good questions that can help them choose wisely and make a good decision. So you touched on qualifications. Let's start there. One of your questions is, what are your qualifications? So if you were a consumer or you were advising a consumer, you would tell them, if you're sitting down with a potential financial advisor partner, you should ask them about their qualifications. Can you expand on what you're looking for with that question?
If I were asking that question, the things that, again, I would be looking for in someone who's going to prepare a financial plan for me, or someone who's actually going to take my assets under their management would be I would want a CFP or a CFA. The reason for that, a CFP is, as you know, a certified financial planner. CFA is a certified financial analyst. I think, and I could be mistaken about this, but I think that you're going to find in the retail marketplace, you're going to find more CFPs. CFAs are more, they're more employed by, fund managers and things along those lines. But the reason that I would look for those qualifications is because of the extensive training that both of those designations have. And these would be people that would be qualified to look at every area of your financial life. And they, in accordance with those designations, they also have to have experience in the industry. They're not going to just be newbies that say, well, now I have a CFP after my name, I can prepare a plan for you. No, in order to get the CFP after their name, they're going to have experience, and that is of the utmost importance.
Okay, that's excellent. And related to that, because qualifications was your second question on your list, and then the number one question was, what experience do you have? So could you talk a little bit about that? And it's clear that more experience is key, but I'd like you maybe to touch the marketplace. I've run across competitors who might have been in the mortgage business or might have been in banking, and they will use that in terms of an experience, but that's not quite the same as a certified financial planner that has been working with individuals, families, and business owners on retirement planning, financial planning, insurance planning, tax planning, and so on. So could you talk about what experience you're looking for and what you would advise people to look for when they're searching for an advisor partner?
Yes, I would look for someone, in terms of experience, I would look for someone who has at least 5 to 10 years of experience in the industry, the financial services industry, but specifically in an advisory firm, because they will have been witness and so forth to people that are, like you said, the families, the companies, the individuals who need that overall plan, but also a deep dive into each area. Now, does that mean that someone who said that they were in banking or in insurance and that was their background to start, that's not going to help? Absolutely, because for instance, if you were in banking, one of the areas that I was in trust for a number of years.
Okay.
So if they have that trust department experience, they're going to have dealt with families, beneficiaries, companies. They could have experience that is as deep as even, bond issues and things that no one would even think about. But what you generally want to look for are people who have actually worked with clients, their families, businesses, all on these areas financial. Because if they say, well, you know what, I was a personal trainer and then I decided to become a financial advisor. Well, you could say, okay, that's great. You've worked with people on their health. That's important. But what have you done in the financial world? And if they say, well, nothing, that's a big problem.
Very good. Another question as we move through your very, very good list is you ask about independence. And again, it's an area of confusion in the marketplace because you have a couple of different categories. So if you're listening to this, just some broad categories is you have the full-service Wall Street type firms, the Merrill Lynch's of the world as an example. And then you have independent advisory firms like I am at Elliott Wealth Management. And then you have regional firms and a whole variety of other kind of categories. So one of your questions is to try and uncover what their business model is and how independent they are. So could you talk a little bit about that, Ann?
Yeah, absolutely. So when I was with a company called Hewitt Associates many years ago, and one of the things that we did was we went across the country and we put together a list of advisors that were out of the worth top 500 advisors in the country. And what we looked for in those advisors, one of the things that we looked for was that they were independent, fee-only advisors. So that was number one. Now, later in the program, we actually started looking at people that were more hybrid, where they were fee-only, but they also they might have other products for which they might be compensated as well. So that's one subset. The subset of advisors that we didn't look at were people that were paid basically on a commission basis, meaning that the products that they would offer to you would be something that they would be paid a commission on.
Okay.
So the reason that we wanted to focus primarily on fee only, and then we stepped over into hybrid, was that we wanted advisors that were really focused on offering their clients things that were not connected to commissions or fees that they might get for selling those products.
Okay. So it's funny you say that, because my take on the question, and I'm going to highlight my business model now, so I don't mean to come off too salesy, but we're an independent firm. So we're with an independent, what's called broker-dealer. And to me, the importance of that and how I position myself and when speaking with clients or potential clients is that we're independent. We don't have any proprietary relationships where that proprietary partner wants us to market their products or services. So that I'm independent when I'm putting together solutions for clients, regardless of the form that takes. I don't have any special relationship with a particular firm that's proprietary in nature. So as an example, if we're quoting life insurance for a client, we could go and get pricing and proposals from dozens and dozens, if not hundreds of companies, and there's no proprietary relationship. So if you can picture this, in contrast, there are some times when you might go to an insurance company and say, I need life insurance, and then all of a sudden you're applying for that company's proprietary life insurance product. There's nothing inherently wrong with that, but it doesn't have the independence, that ability to go shop around on behalf of the client like we do. And on the investment side, it's the same thing. There are some investment firms where you might meet with their professional. They might have the qualifications you want them to have in. They might have the experience you want them to have. But when you meet with them, their business model may be largely geared to, I meet a client, I make a proposal, they become a client, and they end up with a product of my proprietary relationship. And that's what I was thinking, independence. And for us, that's an enormous advantage in the marketplace, our independence. And it's not so much whether it's fee-based or commission-based, but it's more relationship-wise with a proprietary firm. Did I explain that okay, Ann?
Absolutely. And and that's to say, if there's a proprietary firm that you have, that you know somebody. Let's just say you know an advisor at a firm like that, and you feel comfortable with that advisor, and with the